Well, as you guessed, spring is in the air, for those of us in the southern hemisphere at least, while the rest of you are heading in the opposite direction, with autumn, or fall as some of you call it, and the approaching winter. Hello, I'm Deborah Wirsu of deborahwirsu.com, and it's lovely to be back with you today. It's a beautiful spring day here in Melbourne, and the scent of blossom is in the air. The first signs of spring can be noticed with a progression of blossom that appears. Magnolias, our beautiful Australian wattle in its glorious yellow, and of course the European and Asian blossoms, both ornamental and fruiting. I can almost feel myself wanting to wax a little poetic right now. As you may have guessed, I have a whole bunch of different photos of blossom, so was not short of inspiration for this piece. Images of pink blossom, red blossom, white and yellow blossom, plenty to choose from. As I did last week with winter shadows, once again I've created a layered fabric collage background for this piece, and I've worked a simple free motion stitched background first, as I knew I'd be wanting to thread sketch the flower details over the top later. The horizontal lines offer a calming presence to the design. As usual, I advocate working from the background first, progressing to the foreground, so the leaves came next. I kept these simple, as I didn't want them to appear too heavy or dominant in the design. In order to make all those blobs of red and pink fabric look like blossom, some detail was required. I agonised for quite a while about how to approach this, so worked some small experiments on a separate quilt sandwich first. This is always a good idea if you're uncertain about how to stitch something, as I can tell you from experience that it's easier than trying to fix the problem later. Having said that though, thread sketching and thread painting would have to be one of the most forgiving of free motion techniques, as it's usually possible to work over the surface of areas again if they're not looking quite perfect. Having finally made up my mind, each of the blossoms was worked in red thread. As you can see, this is still quite lost or invisible in the design, so overstitching with pink later serves to pick out and highlight certain areas of the design. Finally, a few of the flowers had a little dark red thread worked in the centre, again to give them interest and depth. They didn't all get this treatment, as making everything exactly the same results in the piece becoming less interesting visually, in my opinion. I wasn't at all sure this design was going to work, but the finished result is a piece that I find cheerful and happy, reflecting the beautiful day outside, that I'm now going to try to catch a bit of before it's too late. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to your company again next time. Until then, bye for now.